Hello everyone and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Today's video, I put a lot of effort into it. Specifically, it is how much money does Wizard101 cost. Now, specifically what I mean is how much in crowns does the game cost as a whole for you to buy it. I calculated it all out and I'm going to show you it now. Now, I would like to say don't be intimidated. If you have a... If you're scared of numbers and stuff, you might be intimidated, but trust me, it's not as intimidating as it looks. Okay, you can see here, it's not that intimidating despite what it may look like. Now, what I have here is a spreadsheet that I made this morning. It doesn't have any particularly special equations, so if you're into spreadsheets, it's not like it's some kind of like, you know, super genius spreadsheet, whatever. It's literally just information that I took down to help you guys visualize and understand exactly how much Wizard101 costs. Now, this is in crowns, but I also calculated how much in membership would it take until that outweighs the crowns. You'll see what I mean. So, first, let's get into it. So, in the far left column, you have the world. So you can see here, there's Wizard City, but then there's also stuff like Kimbalong Village, Olympus, Barkingham Palace, Zigazag, Atlantia, Tartarus, Darkmoor, and the Catacombs. Those are all separate worlds that you need to buy, or like separate areas that you need to buy beyond the worlds themselves. You can see that they usually cost a little bit less crowns, but they're still there. In the second column is the cost in dollars, specifically one at a time. So this would be if you say, right, you bought so say you right, to buy Wizard City it would take $10 worth, to buy Krakatopia it would take $25 worth. The next column, it doesn't actually have numbers here, but at the bottom you can see this number. That would be if instead of buying all of everything one at a time, so it's a total of $445, it would be $265. Now, before I get into the other stuff, let me explain exactly what this information is, what it means, what it do. So, the reason why these numbers are that they are is that I took the base values that you spend usually. So, for example, there you have $5 worth of crowns, $10 worth of crowns, $25, and so on and so forth. Everything costs below $25. $25 about 13,000 crowns. $10 is 5,000. $5 is 2,500. So you can see here, specifically in this case, it's $37.50 for Wizard City. It would cost $10. Now, the reason why all at once costs a different price than one at a time is because you'd have spare crowns. So, for example, if you spent this $10 purchase, got 5,000 crowns, spent $37.50, you would have $12.50 left over, which you could then go on to another purchase. So, if you add up all of this in total, if you purchased it one at a time, which means every single time you went to a different world, you bought an amount of crowns worth the entire world, it would be $445. If you bought the stuff that you didn't need, and what I considered not needing was all the side worlds, all the side dungeons, so no Grizzleheim, no Wintertusk, no Zigazag, all that stuff, except with the one exclusion of Darkmoor and the Catacombs, or the two exclusions, because those I consider to be necessary gear in the game, it would be $355. Now, as I said, those are when you purchase them one at a time as you go. But if you decided right in the very beginning of the game to make a bulk purchase, you could spend $265 and buy everything all at once, or $200 without everything needed. Now, obviously, this is a lot of money. I don't recommend this, and this is also the theoretic version where you buy it all at once. But I also went and calculated when it becomes cost effective so that you can visually see how long it takes for buying everything with crowns to become cost effective over membership. Now, for example, for me, even the longest year time, still technically it would have been more cost effective for me to buy the entire game with crowns. because I've been playing for about 10 years. But if you don't expect to be playing this game for that much longer, it's just not worth it. So, when does it become cost effective? I calculated 3 calculations based on the memberships you can buy. So there's the account monthly, which if you look at this little equation here, it's not even a real equation. Basically, it's $9.95 a month. There's 12 months in a year. And then that number right there is completely arbitrary. It's not even in the equation. It's literally, that's how many years it would take. So it would take 3.7 years, as you can see here, 3.9 months to equal the one at a time cost if you're paying monthly for a membership. So that means if you're paying monthly for a membership instead of paying for crowns, or if you paid for crowns instead of buying a monthly membership, it would take 3 years and 9 months for that to pay off, which I would just like to put into perspective. 3 years and 9 months ago, I was 13 years old. So really, this video, I want to impress on you that I really don't think this is worth it. I just mapped this all out so you could see it visually. If you're paying bi-yearly, it would be $49.95, and then it's twice a year, which is that. It would take about 4 years and 4.45 years. So it would take 4 years of payments to do that, which is 9 payments. You are losing. And this also, I'd like to say, by the way, shows that in a lot of cases, the monthly membership in this case would save. Now, the reason why a monthly membership would save here rather than a yearly membership is because in a lot of cases, it is a decimal point of what month becomes the cost of what you're paying for. So what I mean is that to get to $445 for monthly, it is 3 years and 9 months. But for bi-yearly, you can't just pay like a half of one, right? You need to pay that full one, meaning that you lose out on some money. With yearly, this is especially true. I don't know why. Okay. So if you look here on the yearly, it costs $79.85, and it would take 5 years and 5.6 years, which would be a total of 6 payments. So you can't just do 5 payments because it doesn't work like that. You need to do that full extra payment, so it's really not optimal. You would lose out on a total of $34 compared to the monthly if you were to do it this way. Really, I just wanted to show you that it is more cost effective to buy this monthly. Now, if you did it all at once, it's significantly better logically. You can see that if you do it monthly, it takes about 2.2 years or 2 years and 3 months, which is 27 payments at $268 to do that. Bi-yearly, $49.95. It takes about 2.6 years. But as I said, you can't just pay for like a little bit of that fraction. So it would take about a total of 3 years, which means you'd actually lose out on $34 worth of money. So it's really not worth it. I'm just impressing on you, if you did decide to do this for some reason, that it is better to take the monthly option. And then yearly, you can see that it would take 3.3 years, which would be 4 payments, which is extremely not optimal, wasting about $54, taking about 4 years. Now, I've laid out all the information to you. What does all this mean? I've been talking for 9 minutes about numbers. All of you are probably bored out of your mind. I'm sorry. I just think that this is really cool. I'm really fascinated by this because I've always wondered, how much does the game cost in crowns? Is it worth it? And you can really see here that no, in a lot of cases, it's not worth it, because a lot of people, 2 years and 3 months is ridiculous. That's a long amount of time. And that is if you paid for $268 up front. So that's like, that is a significant amount of money. If you don't know, that's, if you worked for say 14 an hour, which by the way is a decent wage, I'd say right now. Okay, let me preface this. I live in a New England state, which means my minimum wage is significantly higher. If you live in Texas, 14 is godly. Let me just preface that. For me, 14 is only 2 above minimum wage. So, if you made 14 an hour, around that, it would take about 18 hours, which is 3 days of full work to do that, which doesn't seem like a lot to you kids. But let me tell you that a lot of times that money is going to be used, that is an alarm, is going to be used elsewhere. So it might not seem like a ton. If you don't have a lot of obligations, it doesn't seem like a ton. But for a kid who doesn't have any money, or someone like me who has to pay for college, it is a lot. So that's that. That's really it. Now, I would like to say, if you wanted to do this, there is another option that would be even more optimal than stuff like this, which would be to combine the two. So, for example, for the yearly membership, here, you could pay for 3 years of membership and then pay for about 4 months. That would end up being like $240 plus 240 plus 40, which would be 280, which would you could do that pretty efficiently, and you wouldn't lose out on a lot of money. But I would like to say that you're not gonna be saving a ton of time that way, is what I would like to say. So thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please drop a like, hit the sub button. This did take me a little bit to do. I had to enter all the numbers and stuff. But there is some I just think this is really interesting. 196,000 crowns to buy the entire game, which is a lot of crowns. As I said, that is $265 worth of crowns, which is a lot. So, also, if there's any math magicians out there, let me know if I made a mistake somewhere in my math, because I probably did, because I did this at like 4 in the morning. But I can tell you, for those of you that are now doubting the credibility of this video, I can tell you that the numbers, if they're off, are only off by a little bit. None of these numbers are like super ridiculously out of the way wrong. Definitely all of this info is right. It's just this info that might be a little bit wonky in a few places, but it's definitely close. So, yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I hope you really enjoyed this, because I did. And, yeah, have a fantastic day. Adios. I pressed the 6 key on my numpad, which stops videos, and just kind of put 6 in my, spreadsheet. So, that sucks. I really need to find a new stop recording button. This has happened in the last, like, 6 videos. I'll see you in the next one.